Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like.
Well, where this ball's going, there's no fairway there, only rough.
Second shot now, and this is from 140 yards away.
Great shot out of the rough. He avoided all the troubles just to get that on the green.
That was not an easy shot. He'll settle. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Frank's starting to make the move.
Leaderboard very volatile at the moment, so a lot of move in that middle piece of the leaderboard. Top 20 so far.
Frank, this is a really fun hole, a pretty short par 3 downhill.
Yeah, half a club, you can allow for that, so it won't play its full yardage. You can really see that right part of the green. That's the most inviting one, but when they stick the flag on the left, you really have to be precise.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. Not quite what he was hoping for, the tee shot in the bunker. So getting set for a greenside bunker shot. Frank, when I think of the great bunker players in the history of the sport, I think about Gary Player, Seve Ballesteros, whom you knew so well. What did they do that made them so effective on these greenside bunker shots?
They had an attitude for a start that was different. For them, it was, they saw possibilities. And they would imagine the amount of sand. Remember, because this is the only shot in golf where you don't have to hit the ball first. So they would really choose the amount of sand behind the ball, whether that was an inch or two. Aimed the club at that and made sure they followed through.
So a tester from 4 feet. -1 in the early going. This is a strong par 4, 452 yards, the third hole. It's a good challenge, Frank.
It is. Big sweeping dogleg left. Actually on a straight line, it's 315, 320 yards to run out. So if you hit the ball further than that, it's going to have to draw. Otherwise, you'll be hitting in the rough on the other side. Still a lengthy shot into there on a green that actually has 3 different levels.
That one is just a little offline, and that will not end up in the fairway. Well, let's see what they can do with this shot from the second cut, 160 yards away. Not sure how this one will react coming out. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor. Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Solid par to remain 1 under. Now back over to the fourth. As we catch up with today's featured golfer, Frank, what's the key to generating some momentum?
Just hitting good shots. I know it sort of sounds like the old cliche, but plenty of opportunities. A few 10, 15-foot putts start going down. This round will change dramatically.
Frank, not the longest hitter, but sometimes you win tournaments by putting it in a good spot, and that's where we are right here, 280 yards out.
Yeah, 280 down the middle of the fairway. That'll never get you in trouble.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Pretty good stroke right there. Just hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
And getting ready for the putt. Not this time. Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. So with that, the score is now at even par. Now to the first par 5 here at Quail Hollow, the fifth hole. It's 570 yards, and it would seem, Frank, that this tee shot sets up well for a guy like Rory McIlroy.
It does. Someone that hits it long and moves the ball right to left. And that's what you're going to have to do here. One of the main reasons for that is not necessarily the dog leg, but the fact that the fairway, Rich, slopes away from you. It slopes to the right and away. So that makes that tee shot so much more difficult.
315.
Second shot. Rich, I'm amazed how much the PGA Championship has changed over these last 10 to 15 years. Their choice of venues have really upgraded the championship. It's no longer just the fourth major. In some respects, it's a professional golfers championship now. We have the Masters, we have the US Open, we have the Open Championship, but now we have a setup at the end of the year for the fourth major that allows these guys to showcase their skills. It's not overly tough, it's not overly brutal, it's scoreable, but the thing about it, it's a test.
And it's the only major championship set up by the professional golfers of America. It's a fair setup. The players will tell you that. There's nothing tricky about it. And when you take these majors to the great venues, so often it gives you the great champions. This will be a birdie if it drops. Frank, how much does that birdie help the cause?
Well, it doesn't look like much right now, Rich, just sneaking inside the top 20. But at the end of the day, that might be the one that turned the tide.
Wow, Frank, this is all you want in a par 3. 250 yards here at the 6th.
Hey, that's what these guys need, especially in a PGA championship. Fortunately, the hole plays a little bit downhill, but 250, whichever way you cut it, is a big par 3.
Headed for the bunker. And once again, off the tee and in the bunker. All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
Pretty good shot right there. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Well, Frank, an eagle is in play here at the par 5 7th.
And a 6, and a 7, and an 8, or a 9, actually. This is a potential scorecard record, the 7th hole. Many a tee shot has found that creek on the right, trees, problems on the left. There's no question there's a reward for a good tee shot here. But then there's a decision on do you go for this par 5 and 2. It's not overly long, just over 530 yards. It is very tempting. That's fine.
This is just a superb performance. Great round to this point, Frank, and you can really see that reflected in his mood today.
Yeah, it just looks too easy. Swinging the club beautifully. Ball's going exactly where he wants it to. He's not trying to take too many risks. So consequently, he's getting birdie opportunity after birdie opportunity. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Frank, how did he do there?
Well, he's inside 30 feet, but 27 feet, it's not exactly what you'd call close.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
This would be nice. A birdie on the card. See if he can make it. Well, continuing to move in the right direction now to 2 under for the championship. Frank, I love a drivable par 4. In the modern power game, it really adds an element of excitement. And here we go at the 350-yard par 4/8.
Well, you're definitely going to love this one then, Rich, because it ticks all the boxes here. There's no water in play, just a few bunkers down the left and the one that protects the right side of the green. And you've got a really narrow green, so plenty of reward with minimal risk.
He pays a price for that.
Yeah, when you don't see the top of the ball in the rough, you know it's not sitting pretty. You need a bit of force to extract one out of there.
Frank, just into that first cut.
Yeah, it's sitting up. Really, this isn't too bad a situation.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Getting set now over the putt. That's good work by the former PGA teaching professional, one of the best instructors in the country, with a birdie, and now inside the cut line.
There's something about a well-hit shot.
Nice position, short grass, second shot. Headed for the bunker, I think. Not missing by much today, but enough to again be in the bunker. Looking to splash this softly onto the green.
Another good swing, another good approach shot.
Lining this one up for par. Nice par to remain 3 under. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. Well, this is the kind of strong wind that will really test a player. Good tee shot right in the fairway and plenty long. Set for his next shot from a good position in the fairway. Frank, we were commenting earlier in the day that this round had really gone wrong. Are you surprised that he's been able to put it back together?
I certainly am. It lost his composure, his rhythm. So really to be playing this well so quickly after that, tip your hat.
Always a chance in this game. Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Frank, you've navigated so many leaderboards in your career. This is the way to do it, isn't it?
Oh, there's plenty of holes ahead too, Rich. Third place, a really good position to be playing from here on in.
Good tee shot, right in the short grass. Frank, what's your thinking on this approach shot here at the 11th?
The second shot here at 11 is anything other than straightforward. There's a bit of a ridge in the middle of the screen, so there's a tendency for that ball to roll around a little bit. Be precise.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance really for birdie, but really it was a rather poor approach shot.
Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Frank, a solid par right there, maintains his position. Par 4 12th here at Quail Hollow, 456 yards. Frank, break it down for us.
Well, there's no fairway bunkers either side, so you feel like there's nothing to work the ball off, and consequently, it's very easy to sneak it in the rough on the left or the right, and then that makes that second shot so much more difficult going up the hill. This is one hole that you have to pick a line on. You really have to know you line off the tee. There's a nice big tree down there in the distance. That's the one you want to work it off.
Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
That was a nice birdie, and no doubt he's feeling pretty good about his position on this leaderboard.
A series of good holes in a row has got him to this point.
Now to the par 3 13th hole. Frank, this one 210 yards.
Very, very good par 3. This is actually a big green. It's 37 yards deep, but it actually plays small. There's a front right portion, there's a roll-off area in the middle, and there's a roll-off area in the back. So don't be deceived by the size of this green. You better be pitching that tee shot right bang in the middle. It was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
All right, Frank, just on the fringe, he might be thinking about making this.
Yeah, he's a better chipper than you, Rich.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Putt for par. Needs one. So, hanging in down the stretch with a par. Well, Frank, as we arrive at the par 4 14th, just 345 yards, our players no doubt are looking for a little advice from a guy who's been there. You've done it at the highest level. What's the right play here?
Rich, after all these years, I think it's like a modified tee shot. And what I'm going to say with that is like a strong 3-wood, something that pitches around 270 and kicks 30 or 40 yards, finishes up about 20 yards short of the green. I think that's the best ploy. You won't be able to get at all the flags, but I think you'll play the hole under par for the week.
When's the right time to pull out the big driver and have a go at this green?
I don't think there is, but maybe you at home should try.
You can't hide the flag stick from that man.
He is just unbelievable. That never deviated offline.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Just a little too much juice on that birdie putt, Frank.
It was bold, very bold.
Nudge this one home, finish it up. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Now teed up at the 15th hole. It is the final par 5 here at Quail Hollow, 577 yards. And Frank, I remember this hole well. McIlroy stiffed a 5-iron on his way to making eagle, his first PGA Tour win. That came back in 2010.
And the opportunity exists again here. Under 600 yards, plays downhill off the tee. Those two bunkers on the right are perfectly situated. That second one about 310 yards to it. So something straight at that one with a little draw will set up that mid-iron or long iron that has to be hit very high and uphill.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Settles in, looking to knock it in tight. On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. Goes to 6 under par for the tournament. What a display of golf. This is the start of what some say is the toughest finishing stretch on the PGA Tour. It's known as the Green Mile. Frank, what makes it so challenging?
Well, this hole in particular, Rich, the dogleg right, it means it plays every inch of it's just over 500 yards. That bunker you can see down the right, 325 yards to carry that. If you can fly the ball that far, at least you can chew off 2/3 of this hole, and that is well required here. Otherwise, it's a long, long second shot. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Frank, you always talk about it. Don't compound the mistakes. Well, here we are, another shot from the rough.
And this one no easier than the one he's just hit.
How about that shot? From that lie to get it that close, tremendous effort. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Well, you can see it there. Feels very good about what he's doing. That's a nice par putt. Stays at 6 under. Just 2 holes remaining here at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is the signature par 3, 221 yards, the 17th.
And they have a multitude of tees here. One of the new back tees is actually where the old 16th green was. And if you think don't go left is the way to play, then that won't work either, because right's not that much good. This is it. Stand on the tee, and you better hit a good shot.
Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie.
Really? This is that awkward length. Oh, how did that miss?
Are you kidding me? I mean, that one was dead center. These putts keep the round together. He'll take par and move on. Down to the finishing hole here at Quail Hollow. Frank, what can we expect?
If there was a name for this hole, Rich, it should be called Narrows. The creek that meanders its way down the left side and actually divides that hole into really half the size of what a normal par 4 should be. That makes it hard. The bunker on the right is your bailout area. Just over 290 yards to get past that, and then the narrowest green that still sits up against the lake. This is just a brutal finish.
Final approach shot of the day here at the 18th. Not looking good, Frank.
I think it's wet.
Just averted danger right there. So close.
Why does he have all the luck?
This is an 11-foot putt. Continuing to play well. -7 now after that putt. Frank, you surprised to see that name on top of the leaderboard?
I am surprised to see the name, but not that style of golf leading. It was great performance, especially tee to green. You don't often see people start that quickly.
EA Sports and the PGA of America are proud to present second round coverage of the PGA Championship. They have gathered from around the world here at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina for the final major championship of the year. We will crown our next PGA championship winner. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Happy to be here calling all the action. Frank, what is the mindset for this final major of the season?
Oh, I think it's taken a long time to get here, but it's well-deserved, Rich. When you think of the luster of the Wanamaker Trophy, winners like Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth of recent, but Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, Lee Trevino, the list goes on and on. The fourth major, some say the defining major of the year, but played at a golf course that we're well used to now. So I'm looking forward to it, Rich. Safely on deck.
On the green, and a chance for birdie here on the first hole. Trying to make yet another birdie.
Can't birdie them all, Rich.
Getting set now over the putt. That is a solid par putt. Teeing it up here at the second hole, Frank, it's a short par 3.
Yeah, it plays a little bit downhill, about half a club, Rich. There's a sort of shallow bunker in that back area, and also that green starts to reduce in size on the left side. Good par 3.
Well, you can hear it right off the center of the club face. This has a chance to be close. So 24 feet after that approach shot, Frank.
It's just outside the what you'd think very makeable distance.
With that birdie, moves one shot closer to the lead. This is a strong par 4, 452 yards, the third hole. It's a good challenge, Frank.
It is. Big sweeping dogleg left. Actually in a straight line, it's 315, 320 yards to run out. So if you hit the ball further than that, it's going to have to draw. Otherwise, you'll be hitting in the rough on the other side. Still a lengthy shot into there on a green that actually has 3 different levels.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Now the approach here at the third. So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. Really no chance to go in there. Now a 7-footer.
That's a good par there, Rich.
Frank, this is a muscular par 4 here at just under 490 yards, the fourth at Quail Hollow. A difficult proposition.
It is, but fortunately that tee shot plays a little downhill. But one of the difficulties with the tee shot is the fairway kicks from right to left. So it needs a good one to keep it on the fairway, and another green that has 3 different levels.
They'll be pretty happy with that 290-yard poke off the tee.
Second shot.
Headed for the bunker? Oh, a bit unfortunate. Wasn't able to avoid the sand trap. Frank, there's nothing like catching a bunker shot just perfectly. Splashes out, lands softly, and just runs up to that hole.
Yeah, it's like 3D. There's the component in the strike where it's going to land, and then the third part of it is how much will it roll.
How about that bunker shot, Frank?
That's up there with the greats. The sound, too, is wonderful. Good use of the bounce, and it looked like they were trying to hole it.
Just a tap in to finish the hole. In for par. Here we are at the par 5 fifth. It's 570 yards. Frank, this should be reachable for most players, don't you think?
Yeah, if you hit a good tee shot, especially with the draw, it will be. But the hardest part of this is judging that kick on the fairway that kicks the ball to the right. And it sort of turns at that awkward area at where the top of your tee shot range. That's where that dog leg is.
So that ball nestles down in the rough. Just got away a little bit on that tee ball. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Frank, the beauty of golf, we're not playing inside a dome with no wind. You have to be able to handle the elements.
You do, and that's really where the better player comes through. On a day like today, anything around par is going to be a good score, so just adjust your own mental par.
So from the rough back to the fairway, that's the right way to go.
Yeah, didn't take the bait, and at least now he's only going to play the price of a poor tee shot. Still got a good chance, though, getting away with par.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
That's well played. Now a good look at birdie. Didn't fare too well on this hole yesterday. Made a bogey. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Those keep the round going, those par putts. Now set to tee off at the sixth. It is a long par 3, 250 yards.
We could take a little bit off for the downhill, but whichever way you look at it, it's still going to be a beefy par 3. Protected on the left by that front bunker, and if you sort of scoot one long, there's another bunker over there as well.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole. Don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
Very nicely done, right on the dance floor.
Great sense of speed in that. You know you can make those, but that one right in the middle.
Frank, there's a lot to chew on here as you get to the tee at the 532-yard par 5 7th.
In today's game, 530 plus change you think is incredibly short. And look at the trouble in front of you. Water all the way down the right side and around that right side of the green. Bunkers left. This is not for the faint of heart.
Frank, not overly long, but still a pretty good spot and in the fairway.
Yeah, that's in that 280 mark.
And from the fairway for his second shot here. That's one of the more depressing sights in golf. You hit a good one, and then it just sucks back too much spin off the green. Trying to generate some momentum here at the 7th hole. This for birdie. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. Setting himself up for a good weekend, the wily golf instructor makes his birdie. Out of the short par 4-8 here at Quail Hollow, just 350 yards. Frank, players can lay it up and just hit a little baby wedge into the green, but why not go for it in one, try to make something happen?
I think both plans work well, Rich. This is one of those holes, the more you think about it, the more complicated it gets. You're going to lay it up, lay it up. If you're going to go for it, just aim at that tree and hit it down there. Just take your medicine.
Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Really starting to shine, moves to 10 under for the tournament. Frank, this is a really good way to finish out the front side here at Quail Hollow. 495-yard par 4.
Yeah, it's the longest par 4 at Quail Hollow. Some say it might be the toughest. I'm not quite in that camp, and the reason why, that green slopes in from both sides, the left and the right, but you can see why good drivers have done well here, because there's a big reward for thumping a big, long, straight drive down here.
Frank, he is one of the longest hitters in the game, but at some point, you have to hit a fairway.
Yeah, he's certainly not the straightest. I think that was the bit you're going to put in the middle. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Oh my goodness, that could have been really bad.
Can you imagine if that kicks towards the bunker?
Birdie here yesterday. This putt again for birdie. Everybody loves him. Birdie on the car. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Always so nice, Frank, when that gleaming white golf ball is sitting up on those emerald fairways, the way this one is.
The game almost appears easy when one is playing their second shot from the middle of the fairway, and you quickly forget how difficult it can be. You look left or right, the game becomes much harder. There's something about a well-hit shot.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Frank, going back to 1961 when this golf course was open, several different designers have put their imprint on it.
That's why there's this great collection of holes, Rich, and I think that's why when you look at this golf course in complete overview, it becomes a great driving golf course. I think you see that when you first step on the tee, plus these collection of greens. And I think that's all the meetings of the minds. There's no real flat surfaces. There's little pockets. Each green has its own identity. You put it all together and you've got this wonderful test.
The original designer, George Cobb, Arnold Palmer made a few modifications in the mid-1980s, and then Tom Fazio came in with a redesign back in '97, and then again, as the modern game exploded with distance, 2003. Steeply up the hill here. This is going to play very long. He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. This for another birdie on this hole on the week. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. In for par. Frank, I think the mark of a good golf course design, changing directions. We go from a right to left hole, now at the 12th, to a left to right hole.
Yeah, there's no two holes at Quail Hollow that look the same. And this one's slightly downhill, fairway tilts a little bit to the right, and it's a bit of a sleeper. And plus you add in on top of that 450 yards plus. This is a fairway that has to be hit.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag. This looks like it's going to find the target.
So the approach to the 12th will leave him about 30 feet away. This is a pretty difficult proposition. Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. Tough game, Frank. You can hit 300-yard drives and miss 3-foot putts.
Yeah, there's the ecstasy, and that's the agony.
So a tester from 4 feet. Par here's fine, isn't it, Frank? Now to the par 3, 13th hole. Frank, this one 210 yards.
Very, very good par 3. This is actually a big green. It's 37 yards deep, but it actually plays small. There's a front right portion, there's a roll-off area in the middle, and there's a roll-off area in the back. So don't be deceived by the size of this green. You better be pitching that tee shot right bang in the middle.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Trying to make yet another birdie. Came to the putt excited to make birdie. Now settle for par.
Yeah, little change in the attitude right now. You've let one go. You've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
That is a solid par putt. Well, Frank, as we arrive at the par 4 14th, just 345 yards, our players no doubt are looking for a little advice from a guy who's been there. You've done it at the highest level. What's the right play here?
Rich, after all these years, I think it's like a modified tee shot. And what I'm going to say with that is like a strong 3-wood, something that pitches around 270 and kicks 30 or 40 yards, finishes up about 20 yards short of the green. I think that's the best ploy. You won't be able to get at all the flags, but I think you'll play the whole under par for the week.
When's the right time to pull out the big driver and have a go at this green?
I don't think there is, but maybe you at home should try.
Pretty good shot right there, about 10 feet away, setting up the putt for birdie. Racking them and stacking them. That's 12 under par now for the tournament. We're now teed up at the 15th hole. It is the final par 5 here at Quail Hollow, 577 yards. And Frank, I remember this hole well. McIlroy stiffed a 5-iron on his way to making eagle, his first PGA Tour win. That came back in 2010.
And the opportunity exists again here. Under 600 yards, plays downhill off the tee. Those two bunkers on the right are perfectly situated. That second one about 310 yards to it. So something straight at that one with a little draw will set up that mid-iron or long iron that has to be hit very high and uphill.
Third shot, looking for a good one. On the green, and a chance for birdie. Par yesterday, now for birdie. continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. At last, we have arrived at the start of one of the most daunting finishing stretches in all of golf. They call it the Green Mile, 16, 17, and 18 here at Quail Hollow. The 16th is a par 4, 508 yards, Frank.
And this hole was made even more difficult when they pushed that green further left to bring the water more in play with the second shot. I mean, it's a great par 4. It's strong in every single department.
This is an approach shot that will really test a player. Second to the 16th. Frank, I think that's going to the bunker.
Looks like it.
Well, we've seen this before today, in the bunker.
And an awkward little bunker shot. Just splash it out, let the ball run towards the flag.
Frank, looks like maybe the greatest bunker player of all time right there.
Well, he's making a name for himself today. You could certainly put him up there with Gary Player, Severiano Ballesteros. That was just a great bunker shot.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, this is all you want in a par 3, especially late in the round. You have to carry the water. You have to deal with the pressure. At 221 yards, this requires a player's very best.
On the process of elimination, don't go long, don't go left, don't go short, and right is marginal. It doesn't leave you with much.
That's well played. Now a good look at birdie. And getting ready for the putt.
Oh. How did that miss?
Are you kidding me? I mean, that one was dead center. Those keep the round going, those par putts. Here we are, the 18th hole at Quail Hollow. Simply put, Frank, a player needs to hit maybe his best tee shot of the day.
I would agree with you, Rich. If you were to measure this hole from trees on the left to trees on the right, it's actually a really wide fairway or expansive land. But that creek that just meanders its way through the middle of this hole completely changes the nature of this hole. And consequently, you hit the nail on the head. If you don't hit a good tee shot, you will rack up something here. And I've got no idea how big it would be.
Frank, what's the player need to watch out for here at 18?
That false front doesn't finish till at least 8 or 9 yards on, Rich, and then you've got 2 different tiers. Plus, it's a narrow green. Club selection here is just so important.
Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity. This is for his birdie. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Beautiful stroke right there. Finds the bottom of the cup with ease. There you have it. The second round is complete. Another solid effort put together, and it shows on the scorecard.
And after 2 rounds, you really start to see not only who's playing well, but who's consistent.